falls ich das irgendwann auf YouTube stelle. Hallo, hallo, hallo. Wir sind hier heute am 27.05.2025 und haben uns eingefunden zum zweiten Dead by Daylight Anniversary Stream zum 9. Geburtstag von DBD. Es gab ja schon einen von der PAX in Colorado und da wurde ja ziemlich viel schon vorgestellt. Upcoming Updates, die kommen werden, die kommen sollen. Es wurden... Ach, Interior, dankeschön für 100 Bits. Es wurden Skins gezeigt. Es wurde das nicht Freddy. Ich habe letztens erst Five Nights at Freddy gesehen, deswegen Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy ist richtig. Das Spring Trap DLC wurde gezeigt und heute wollen sie es richtig, richtig zeigen. Also ich glaube, wir sehen richtig Einblicke ins PTB, in die Spielweisen und so weiter und so fort. Ich bin gespannt, was sie sonst noch sagen. Ich hatte eine Umfrage gemacht, ob die Community das mitgucken will und deswegen sitzen wir heute hier. Chat, wie ist es von der Lautstärke gerade? Nur die Musik. Passt das? Das Ding ist, ich hatte jetzt keinen Vergleich dazu, ob es irgendwie lauter oder leiser muss. Auf jeden Fall soll es losgehen in sagenhaften 3 Minuten. Wir haben letztens erst den Film gesehen. Ja, genau. Wir haben uns jetzt am Wochenende fortgebildet und den Film geguckt. Ich muss zugeben, dass ich die Spiele nie gespielt habe, weil ich vor denen zu doll Angst habe. Das klingt jetzt blöd, aber diese Anspannungs-Jumpscare-Geschichten finde ich ganz furchtbar. Ich hatte mal ein ähnliches Game gespielt. Animatronics hieß das oder so. Ich fand das schrecklich. Also nicht schrecklich, weil es so schlecht war, sondern weil ich einfach so unter Strom war die ganze Zeit, dass ich das auch gar nicht durchgespielt habe. Also, vielleicht schaue ich mir mal irgendwie Let's Plays dazu an, aber ich glaube nicht, dass ich Five Nights at Freddy's selber spielen werde. Dafür habe ich zu viel Respekt vor den Jumpscares halt. Aber ich kann jetzt mitreden, was den Film betrifft. Ich weiß jetzt, warum die Leute ausgerastet sind wegen den Skins. Finde ich sehr lustig. Und es gibt ein paar coole Fun-Facts übrigens. Der Schauspieler, der in diesem legendären Skin, also dieses gelbe Bunny, drin steckt, der hat einmal den Ghostface gespielt. Also er war schon mal ein Ghostface, er ist ein Springtrap und es ist der Empath aus 13 Geister. Warum wird das nie angesprochen? Derselbe Schauspieler ist der Typ aus 13 Geistern. Ich liebe den. Aus 13 Geistern. Slay YouTube? Ja, ist ja bald wieder Pride Month, ihr Lieben. Guck mal, was ich wiedergefunden habe. Die trage ich jetzt wieder. Heute. IT, hatte ich meinen Kaffee ausgetrunken? Meine Snudeltasse ist irgendwie vanished. Weiß das gar nicht mehr. Ja, oh, ich kann es gar nicht abwarten. Es kann jetzt ruhig losgehen. Ich würde mir natürlich wünschen, wird wahrscheinlich nicht passieren, aber ich würde mir echt wünschen, wenn die auch ein bisschen was zeigen würden zum eigentlichen Geburtstagsevent, weil das müsste ja eine Woche nach PTB losgehen. Lass mich mal ganz kurz was nachgucken. Das Geburtstagsevent 2025 müsste, wenn es an einem Montag startet, am 23. Juni starten. Sani, dankeschön für 100 Bits, ihr Süßen. Ihr müsst den Hype-Train nicht voll machen. Ihr dürft, aber ihr müsst nicht. Vielen lieben Dank, Sani. Ihr habt schon in der letzten Zeit so viel für mich gemacht. Ganz viel Liebe für euch. Ich freue mich und ich hoffe, es geht dir gut. Danke. So, jetzt ist es schon 17:02 Uhr. Also YouTube, es geht euch wie mir. Ich warte selber. Ach was? Wusste ich noch gar nicht. Ja, weil ich damit jetzt nicht hausieren gehe. Also, es ist halt, wie es ist, ne? Da geht's los. Ist ein bisschen leiser.
We're back. We're here. We're live in Montreal. We're live in our studio, in our brand new studio. In the studio.
Ja, ist besser so, oder?
Who dat?
That palette.
That is a palette. That is also a coffee table.
It's got coasters.
You know, you recognize this, but also
Kluse.
not a picture frame. That is
Mein
actually a video screen. We're not going to make use of it today because we literally just got it installed. Streams in the future. We're going to be having
So
a lot of
normalerweise
fun
würde ich über
with a lot
YouTube
of
gucken.
these. They look like static picture frames, but
Wir gucken es
really
jetzt
excited for
über
us to have this
Twitch
as a
wegen der
resource
Drops.
here in our own studio in Montreal, so we can
Ist
do
das
more
laut
stuff
genug?
here.
Muss es lauter?
Videos that you do all the time, interviews, whatever. So yes, hello, welcome. There are a lot of you out there. Thank you for joining us. This is actually our second live stream
Danke für
of
die
the month
Looks.
of May. Earlier, we were at PAX East in Boston, where also a bunch of people showed up in person, which was an incredible delight to
nicht
meet
Colorado?
so many people I only knew as online names, and to ham it up in front of a live audience was pretty fun. So we
Chat, könnt ihr
just wanted
alles
to say
gut
thank you
verstehen
for
oder
that.
muss ich
That,
lauter machen?
You know, was our first big live event in a long time, and y'all showed up. So hopefully that means we can do more. And the only negative of that event,
Ich finde, es passt so.
we were not joined by
Es kann gleich
Due
laut
to
sein mit
visa
mir. Es
issues.
sollte bloß nicht.
Yeah, it was really sad to be watching from the sidelines, but the hype in that room was electric. So, like, even being at home, but just rooting you guys, that was just amazing. So I truly hope that maybe in the future I'll be able to meet you guys in person. But for now, let's get into today's live stream, which we're talking about
Colorado? Ich
part
weiß es grad
2
nicht.
of our anniversary
Frustriert
live
mich.
stream with the Dead by Daylight 5 Nights at Freddy's official live stream. And today, especially at PAX, you guys got a little taste about what was coming with
Nee,
this
es war
chapter, but now
Massachusetts,
we're going to be talking about the
Massachusetts,
map,
weißt
the
du?
gameplay, and
Wie bin ich
the
da auf Colorado
anniversary event,
gekommen?
which is right around
Egal.
the corner.
We just gave them an app, and now they're getting the full pizza.
Yeah, the new full pizza.
So if you are new to Dead by Daylight, which I suspect some of you are, there are a lot of people here. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Hello, camera 2. If you're new
Ich hab's
to
jetzt
Dead
einfach
by
mal auf 100%
Daylight, I just want to
gezogen.
quickly explain what's going on today. We're doing our stream, obviously, and generally we try to do these when we have either a release of the full chapter or, as is the case today, a PTB. If you don't know what PTB is, public test battle,
Beta.
flipping knows.
Beta.
What it is a test tool for us on the development team. Truly, it's a chance for us to get the build out early, find some rough edges, anything that might not be working, and get it up to gear, up to snuff for the full release, which is coming on June 17th. So I just wanted to set the stage for you in case you didn't know what PTB is, because we'll mention it a few times. But that is planned to go live as soon as we wrap up the show here today, if we time it perfectly. So.
Okay, für die, die es nicht verstanden
Alright,
haben, sobald die Show vorbei ist, startet
Five
der
Nights at
PTB.
Freddy's is our most requested chapter of all time. You have wanted this for a long time. FNAF fans have wanted it for a long time. DBD fans have wanted it for a
Keine
long time.
Untertitel. Ja, ich kann ein bisschen übersetzen.
Now it's actually happening. So let's not delay any longer. We'll show you what's coming in the show today with the run of show.
Na, jetzt zeigen sie uns erstmal, was heute passiert. Sie
we're
haben
gonna
gesagt,
kick things off with
sobald
a segment that you've been waiting
der
for,
Stream vorbei
Five
ist,
Nights at
startet halt der
Freddy's
PTB mit dem
gameplay,
Five Nights at
playing
Freddy's.
as Springtrap.
Twisted
And
Masquerade
helping us
wird
out, we're
doch,
gonna have
wird doch.
Jason Guzzo
Oh,
back
heute
with us
kommt's.
to talk about Springtrap's gameplay, but also the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza map.
Final Twisted
Yes, and then
Masquerade.
next, I'll be joined on the couch with Justin Banks, who's going to break down this year's anniversary
Und
event
Creator-Programm.
and show us everything
Ich
that's
glaub, wir müssen
happening
ein bisschen
for
gucken
this last
heute.
Twisted Masquerade.
Und es gibt
Then
Drops
we'll
heute
have
zu
a new
verdienen,
face
ne?
on the couch,
Haben wir auf
which is
Dead by
going to
Daylight
be
schon gestellt?
Hollis from the product team, who's going to be running through the latest collections that'll be rolling into the fog here in
Ja.
a couple of months. And then after that, Eric and I will be back on the couch to talk about the Dead by Daylight Creator Program, which I know a lot of our content creators out there
Es gibt
are
Drops,
at
ja,
the
einen
edge of their
Banner, einen
seat
Anhänger und
waiting
ein
to hear
Profilbild.
news about, so stay tuned.
Passend zu Five
And
Nights
we
at
also
Freddy's.
have another thing to share with you that is
Glaub ich.
new. Maybe you saw it in your news yesterday in the game. Little spoiler. We're going to be talking about the extremely cool new Dead by Daylight stats tracker that's coming up. We're going to be able to look at your in-game stats and progress as you
Oh, das
play.
ist richtig gut. Es wird einen
I
Stats-Tracker
cannot wait to
geben,
see how many times I've died.
der uns
After
zeigt, wie oft sind wir gestorben, wie oft haben wir
obviously,
überlebt
it's gonna
und so
be-
weiter und so
wouldn't be a
fort.
Dead
Das
by
klingt
Daylight live stream
cool.
Without having some Twitch drops.
Da
We're
sind
going to have
sie.
3 amazing Twitch drops for players to go ahead and redeem on Twitch. So make sure you're looking at the Twitch chat or looking at the
Das
QR
nicht
code
die
to go
Drops,
ahead and
die
make
ich
sure you're
gesehen
linking your
habe.
behavior account so that you're not missing it. It starts today up until June 10th, but maybe Eric, you want to tell us what we're going to get?
I do.
Ja, ja,
although
heute
I
muss
don't
PTB
know that it
kommen,
matches
weil
what's
Masquerade
needed.
geht los
So
ab 23.
We have
Juni.
3 drops for you, but actually the first drop is a combo. You're going to get
Das
blood
sind nicht
points
die
as
Drops, die
well
ich
as
gesehen
the
habe, die ich
smiling
gepostet
clown
habe im
badge. Sorry,
Discord,
I
Leute.
don't- what I have written down versus what's in that image are not the same thing. So
Mal gucken.
we're going to learn together what we get. Smiling clown badge, 200,000 blood points bundled together for watching 1 hour, a clown den banner for watching 3 hours, and a pin the tail on the Maurice charm for anyone who accumulates 6 hours of watch time. Oh, Maurice, how I miss thee.
I miss him. I have to do my
Ja, was
little
ist mit
head pat
Maurice
with the
eigentlich?
map.
Das
I
Pferd
know.
ist weg
I hope
schon
he
wieder.
returns to us soon. Before we dive in, one last thing we did want to mention if you've been around for a few weeks. We're running a
Hat
charity
er auch
program
gerade
at the
gesagt.
moment,
Er sagte
which
auch gerade,
I've
die
been
passen.
so psyched
Haben die uns
about,
gerade die falschen
tied
Drops
to
gezeigt?
Aurella's release, and it has already, well, it's finished, but it has over $200,000.
Oh my God.
And that's before the multiplier that we're still calculating right now. So thank you to everyone who contributed to that charity. It's going to a really great cause, the St.
Für
Justine
die, die es nicht
Foundation here in
wissen,
Montreal to help
dass
kids
die
and
zwei
their moms.
Orella-Skins,
So thank you,
diese
thank you.
Sanitäter-Skins mit der
We'll
orangen
announce
und
the
der
final
gelben
number
Jacke,
when we
wenn man
have
die
it from
gekauft
the,
hat, sind die
numbers
Einnahmen
people, but
rausgegangen
it is
an
well over
eine
$200,000.
Stiftung, die halt
So great.
SanitäterInnen unterstützt und so weiter und so fort. Und da sind
Without
die jetzt bei
further
inzwischen
ado,
über $250.000.
Let's talk about Five Nights at Freddy's, playing a Springtrap, and bring out our dear friend Jay Guzzo, the killer's designer.
Wow, boah, mein Ohr. Bruder. Ist ja gut. Hallöchen, Happy Sunshine Girl. Ist das laut? Himmelarsch und Sören. Ich habe gerade um 80% leiser gemacht, weil es mir in die Ohren geflogen ist. Mach doch Licht an, Hase. Es geht super soweit, Dankeschön. Wenn man die Drops anklickt, werden einem auch andere angezeigt. Ja, es müsste ein Avatar mit dem grinsenden Clown sein, das hatte er ja auch gesagt. Und auch ein Anhänger mit halt Maurice und noch irgendwie so ein anderes Bild mit einer Map. Also die haben uns falsche Drops gezeigt. Das sind wahrscheinlich Drops, die später mal kommen. Feier ich auch. Die haben uns aus Versehen falsche Drops gezeigt. Wissen wir ja schon mal, was uns erwartet zur Twisted Masquerade. Da bekommen wir die dann bestimmt. Da war ja auch ein Geburtstagskuchen mit bei.
Whoa! I was waiting for Jay to tell us when we're ready, but we're live. See, we told you it's live. You didn't believe us. Okay, so hi, Jay.
Hi.
So from the time that we announced that Five Nights at Freddy's was coming to Dead by Daylight, obviously the excitement has been off the charts for Five Nights at Freddy's fans, for DBD fans, for myself, maybe you, and you know, people are speculating. Who's the killer going to be? Are we going to get a map, et cetera, et cetera? We answered those things in a high-level way.
Falls es im Hintergrund ein bisschen raschelt, hier wird gerade Essen aufgewärmt. Das ist das Ding, wenn man aus der Küche streamt.
Springtrap. For the first time ever, you get to play as Springtrap instead of be terrorized by Springtrap. Well, if you're a survivor, you'll still be terrorized. And also, we'll be bringing a new map. So Jay has come here to join us.
Aber kann es sein, dass es keinen Survivor gibt? Weil es ja hieß, es würde eigentlich einen Survivor geben.
Such hits as Chucky and also Dracula. Jay is the killer designer on both of those, as well as Springtrap. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Der Typ hat sich um Chucky und um... Was hat er gesagt?
So
Dracula gekümmert beim Game Design. Also er hat jetzt auch den Springtrap gemacht.
Licenses already. So, when you were assigned Five Nights at Freddy's, what was it like when you first started working on that chapter?
It was really interesting. I didn't have a lot of experience with it. Excuse me, my throats are a little dry today. I was obviously aware of it. I mean, everybody is.
Und leise. Ich habe auf 100% gemacht, es geht nicht lauter.
But I'm going to be honest, I didn't really realize how kind of deep the lore and the story went before I started kind of looking into this chapter. So,
okay, er kannte sich mit Five Nights at Freddy's vorher gar nicht groß aus und er hat gar nicht erwartet, wie viel Lore dahinter steckt, als er anfing, damit zu arbeiten.
How cute it is, very horrifying. And actually, I think that's a very initial common ground DBD fans and FNAF fans will have. Deep lore on both games, much more than you'd expect. And once you dig in, it's really cool stuff, and it goes, like you said, it goes places.
Yeah.
Sehr dunkle Abgründe haben sich vor ihm aufgetan. Es war sehr, sehr horrifying, also gruselig, beängstigend.
Yeah, for sure. You know, one of my favorite things about doing licenses like this is they give me an excuse, I guess, a reason to become like a real big nerd about one specific franchise or IP. And that's always amazing. You know, Chucky, I got to watch all the movies, and Dracula, we played the games and watched stuff. So this one, I did the same thing. I jumped in. My main thing was YouTube and Twitch, watching streams. I watched 60 to 70 hours of content.
Er erzählt gerade,
some of the more
dass
popular
halt jedes Mal,
streamers,
wenn er
I
sich um
guess
so
we
ein
could
Projekt
say,
kümmert, dass so eine Art Entschuldigung
all
dafür ist,
through
dass
all
er
the
kurz zum
games,
Nerd
including
mutiert,
the
weil er
VR
sich dann
stuff and
natürlich aus
things,
jeder Quelle Informationen
not
dazu holt. Er
just to
schaut sich
see
Streams an,
games and how they play,
natürlich
but
auch
also
Anime, er spielt die
players,
Spiele
how
und
they
so weiter und
react,
so
the
fort.
community, how they react, what kind
Und
of
ja,
getting the inspiration for the experience of
genau, es gibt ihm die
FNAF,
Möglichkeit,
the
richtig
Five
tief
Nights
in
at
diese
Freddy's,
Materie
excuse me.
einzutauchen, damit er das dann halt auch
And I think
übernehmen
that's
kann
a
für
really
seine
special thing. You
Designs.
didn't just
Ich
tackle
umreiße
it
das
from
nur
a
mal so ein
mechanic
bisschen
point
grob,
of
ja?
view. You wanted to understand the community. You
Für die,
wanted
die
to
nicht so gut
understand
Englisch können.
players, make them feel as welcome in DBD as possible. Dead
Yeah.
by Daylight, sorry. No, we're going to be doing this a lot. It's just quicker to use acronyms. So I think that's a great touch. So any surprises you found along the way as you were doing that?
Yeah, I mean, this won't be a surprise to most people, but it was to me, was like I said, just how passionate the community is. They're like you said, it's very similar to DBD in that respect of like very passionate fans and very passionate community. People who kind of, they watch the trailers and they watch gameplay and they pixel peep.
Oh, yeah.
And they kind of start stringing things together, and I imagine there's at least a few Five Nights fans with like the boards with pictures and the string all over them.
Yes, which Jay, you're kind of famous for with
Also was ihn
Dracula.
positiv
And
überrascht
drew
hat,
some
ist halt die
meme-worthy
Leidenschaft, die die
art, so
Community,
maybe
die
we'll
die
have some
Five Nights
more.
at Freddy's halt feiert,
But yeah, they're probably
reinsteckt,
picking
um halt in
apart
jedem
our
Trailer irgendwas
outfits
zu
as we
finden,
speak.
was sie
What does it
wiedererkennen
mean? What
und
is
so
it?
weiter
I
und so
just want
fort. Also
people to see my cool
wir sind sehr
new
leidenschaftlich
colored
dabei
shoes.
als
I just
Fans.
wanted people to see. Don't know if I can show it. My daughter
Uns ist
bought
wohl
me,
die Detailliebe auch in die
Freddy
Kleinigkeiten
Fazbear
sehr, sehr
socks for
wichtig.
Got
Christmas.
Freddy on the feet. Likewise, my son.
Ich weiß nicht, was du meinst, Nana. Ich weiß nicht, was du meinst.
We are loving it.
Aber
with
ja,
the
ist
computer.
daher
So
inspiriert.
before we jump into the gameplay, why don't you tell us about how you started to approach the design of
Hühnchen,
Springtrap?
Wuschel.
Yeah, it was a really interesting one because obviously, if you know both games, gameplay-wise, they're pretty diametrically opposed. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Ich mache nur keinen schiefen Text, der aussieht, als würde er falsch rum reingehen. Das mache ich nicht.
And try not to get killed. Whereas DBD is all about moving around, doing the gens. If you sit still, you're gonna get yourself
Not a
killed.
good strategy.
It's not a great idea. So it really became about kind of nailing down what the quintessential Five Nights at Freddy's experience is. Things like the security office, the battery power, all those amazing jump
Diskussion war
scares,
Yes.
and just kind of figuring out how to adapt that into the context of DBD.
Perfect. So with that transition, let's get into Springtrap specifically and his gameplay.
Yeah. So one of the goals for Springtrap was to figure out how to lean into those jump scares, which are kind of the thing about the Five Nights at Freddy's games, right? Without making him just a straight up stealth killer, which was something we wanted to avoid. So I had this idea of
Okay, also sie
doing
gehen
something that we
gerade auf
never
die
really
Essenz
tried
von
before,
Five Nights
where
at Freddy's
we
ein, dass halt
focus
dieses Überwachungssystem sehr wichtig
Springtrap
ist,
kind of as a
die
grab-based
Jumpscares
killer.
wichtig sind,
Because
sie aber keinen
they have
kompletten
grab
Stealth-Killer schaffen
they
wollen,
are
sondern einen, der
inherently
halt auch zu hören
jump scares
ist.
into themselves it's right there. So we just kind of leaned into that and gave him more of those opportunities.
There he is right there on screen, by
there
the
he
way.
is, yeah.
I think we even have another one of him doing a little bit of a grab.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we gave him a pretty unique projectile, which is really cool. So Springtrap has two weapons. I get to finally announce. I know the community have been talking about it.
Zwei
So his
Waffen.
large pizza knife as his main weapon, and a heavy fire axe as his power.
Oh, the fire.
Eine Fire Axe.
So
Okay.
let's talk about the axe. How do you use the axe? How's it different from projectiles that other characters in Dead by Daylight use?
Yeah, so it's a very unique. It's not going to play like any other projectile killer that you've tried before. We wanted to do something a little bit interesting with
Sie
it.
haben gesagt, sie
So,
wollen
if
vermeiden,
you
dass er
throw the
komplett
actor, it's
Stealth
in
ist.
the
Vielleicht ist er ein
environment,
bisschen Stealth. I don't know.
whether it's a missed shot or it's deliberate. It creates an AoE that lasts about 15 seconds. And if a survivor walks through it, you get killer instinct on them for a short period of time. If you hit a survivor with it, kind of gets lodged in their back while you're chasing.
Kind of have an axe lodged in your back.
Just a
No
little
big
bit.
deal.
So they can remove it manually, or they can do it quicker in co-op with another survivor. As Springtrap, you can also retrieve it yourself if you get in close. You can skip kind of the steps of downing the survivor and picking them up. You get in close to a survivor that has the axe embedded in them. You click the button, you grab the axe, and the survivor.
Hab schon so laut gemacht, wie es geht. Er redet einfach, es ist einfach scheiße
jump
abgemischt.
scare,
Ich bin auf
and then you're carrying them on
100%
your
hier
shoulder.
unten.
Couple little notes. One of them is while you have your projectile available, You move at 4.4 meters per second.
Schon ein bisschen
There he is.
creepy aus, ne?
Some jump scare action.
But once you've thrown the axe, you actually move at 4.6 meters per second. It's something that we've never really done base kit for a killer. It makes for some really interesting tactical choices, meaning that you have to recall the axe manually. It never comes back to you automatically unless you throw it out of the map, because you can make a mistake.
Das mit der Axt würde ich
But yeah,
gerne
as
mal
long as it's in the
sehen. Das ist für mich immer
environment
schwer,
or
mir das
survival or
vorzustellen, wenn
whatever
es
it
nur
is,
erklärt
you have
wird.
to manually recall it.
So it lightens his load a little bit, makes him a bit faster.
Exactly.
Perfect. So that brings us to another unique part of
Es
the
ist halt
gameplay,
leise.
and I think super iconic to Five Nights at Freddy's, the security office. So let's get into that.
Yeah. So it was really important for us to give the killer and the survivor a really kind of
Das
interesting
ist, weil ich von
shared
Twitch aus
experience in that
restreame.
space, which allowed us to also lean into the jump scares. And some of the ways we came up with was to introduce the security office, which is part of any trial that Springtrap is the killer. It's part of his power, but it acts as kind of a transitionary space. So we have 7 doors that appear randomly around the map at chest spawns, and these can be used by survivors or killers to teleport around the map.
Mehr als alles auf 100% stellen kann ich halt auch
There it
nicht, ne?
is.
Das
And
ist durchs
survivors can also
Restream.
use them for surveillance. So as a survivor, you interact with the door. It brings up the camera view. You'll get the kind of iconic map view in the bottom right of all the different cameras. On the bottom left, you'll see your battery power, which we'll talk about in a second.
TP-Map, jetzt habe
You
ich
can
nicht
see what's going on
aufgepasst,
in
jetzt
the
war
other
ich
doors. You
so
can
im
switch between
Lautstärke-Game
doors.
drin.
If you see something that, if it looks safe on the other end, you press the button, your character goes into the security office, and then it's kind of like a hands-off, almost like a theme park experience where you see this first-person view going through the office, which is really cool.
And one thing you mentioned, again, just in case we have new folks playing,
Was ist denn ein TP?
regardless of what map you're playing on,
nicht
this
aufgepasst.
functionality, the security room will be there as long as Springtrap is the killer in the match.
Yeah, exactly. And
Ach so.
as a survivor, if you happen to see Springtrap through a camera, if you train your camera on him for a few seconds, he'll be revealed for a little bit for the whole survivor team.
Nice.
Aber es ist trotzdem schlecht
And what
abgemischt.
about if, like,
Weil das hier ist sehr viel
what if
leiser
Springtrap
als die
goes in
Sounds
at the same
zwischendurch.
time as a survivor goes in at a different door and they meet?
Yeah, so since they can both use the doors in the security office,
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity for that interaction. So if a survivor is moving through that space from one door to the other, and Springtrap, excuse me, chooses one of those 2 doors, whether the one they're coming from or the one they're going to, he'll interrupt them in the security office for a fun little surprise.
Ooh. Awesome. I love all the little touches that the team has planted in there like that. I think the fans are really going to love it, including this. You mentioned the battery. Managing the battery is part of this as well. So how's that work in DBD?
Yeah, so survivors share a universal battery. It's shared amongst all of them. It drains a little bit, kind of ticks down per second while you're using the cameras. We didn't want players to just be the man in the chair and just sitting there and telling all their friends. So it drains a little bit using the teleporter to move around the map, takes off a big old chunk in one shot, and then you have to kind of manage that battery as a team. It slowly recharges on its own over time, but you have to kind of manage when and where you're using it.
Okay, also der
If the battery
Teleport
does run out,
ist,
the security
den es auf
system,
der Map
which is
gibt, der
kind
ist nicht
of doors, the
unbegrenzt.
cameras, the office, goes
Du
into
musst
shutdown mode for 45
sich das
seconds.
aufladen lassen und du musst dich
But
quasi im Team
Springtrap is
absprechen,
not
wer wann
affected
den
by the
Teleport
battery.
benutzt.
So
Weil du nicht
if
unbegrenzt
the
durchgehen
survivors have
kannst.
kind of overplayed their hand and they shut the security office down, they've kind of given up their one bit of power in this
Right.
chapter, and Springtrap can still use the doors and bounce around
Oh,
and do whatever he
dangerous.
wants.
Dangerous. Fantastic. But what about disabling
Okay, also
doors?
irgendwie können wir ihn
Yes.
auch
So,
stunnen
yeah,
über das
so,
Office.
to go
Das
back
geht
to
halt
the
nur auf
axe,
dieser Map und es geht auch nur gegen Springtrap.
If the killer hits either a camera or a door, the whole thing, with their axe, that door and the camera becomes unavailable to survivors. They can't use it to teleport away, they can't teleport to that door, and they can't see through the camera that's been disabled.
Okay, wenn Springtrap auch die
When the
Türen
killer
von den
retrieves it,
Teleports
that effect lingers a little bit.
mit seiner
It becomes
Axt
a really
schlägt, dann
cool
kannst du da auch nicht
way
mehr
of, like,
durch.
I need to scope this area
Sehr
out,
gespannt,
I
wie das
don't have
aussieht und wie
any
sich das
scene. You can just
äußern
open the door,
wird, ob man das überhaupt
around,
effektiv
use it to
nutzen
fake
kann
other-
oder ob
fake
man
the
davon schnell
survivors out.
gestresst,
Got
schrägstrich
it. But it's not
genervt ist.
permanent. The door can be used again after the axe has been retrieved. After
Unless it's in shutdown, which means the survivors can't use it anyway.
Right. Cool. Okay, so speaking about moving around the map, which
Yeah.
it sounds like we have a new exciting way to do that. One of the coolest things about the chapter, in fact, is the map. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is now a new map, a new level within Dead by Daylight for DBD fans, specifically in the Withered Isle realm. So what can you tell us about the map?
Yeah, so the art team and the level design team, much like me, they did a ton of research. And like, I don't say this just because we're doing the stream here, but it's becoming one of my favorite maps. I love it so much. In the same way that we worked hard at kind of integrating a lot of opportunities for jump scares into the killer gameplay, their team really wanted to make sure that they did the same when it comes to things like Easter eggs and scares around the map. So it really pays off if you're kind of an explorer.
Okay, also es gibt wohl Jumpscares auf der Map, es gibt aber auch Easter Eggs und sowas alles. Es gibt wohl viel zu entdecken auf der Map.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot. You'll see a lot of small references and stuff, but obviously we've recreated a lot of kind of the iconic areas from the game. But we're also letting you exit the pizzeria to explore the outside a little bit, which is really cool. And we wanted to kind of add a little bit more space to allow for more dynamic chases.
Okay, du kannst auch ein bisschen außerhalb der Map laufen, also es ist nicht alles komplett in-game.
The dining hall, of course, with the full animatronic band on stage is very cool. And we have the arcade, which is, it's all very kind of creepily decorated, like a birthday party. And we have areas like the kitchen and even the mechanical room, which is cool.
An
and
die Map, die reinkam
so altogether this
mit
should kind of
Sable.
feel like I guess a formerly working pizzeria. Yes. And, of course, since it's Dead by Daylight, the entity's weird pustules and deformations are everywhere to remind you exactly of where you still are. And
you're
where
making
you're
a judgment call on those pustules there, Jay.
But if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, I think you're really going to love the map. They've done a lot of really cool work.
Yeah, it's super fun. And it looks really good, too. The art team did knock it out of the park. But also with Springtrap wandering around, it's like a terror. And I think for Five Nights at Freddy's fans, like, whoop, you're going to be in familiar territory.
Yeah.
Ja, die Pizzeria ist direkt aus dem Spiel, gibt es auch in dem Film. Der Film ist auf Prime übrigens, glaube ich, gerade kostenlos. Also falls ihr Amazon Prime habt, ihr könnt ihn da gerade gucken.
Which means you want to go to the game and you just want to check out the map.
Da seht ihr auch die Pizzeria, ist auch mit
you'd be in the general rotation of maps and all that. Now you can go straight in just to the pizzeria without having to hope that you get there. So it's going to be its own queue when you join the game.
Ja, für die das nicht mitbekommen haben, es wird jetzt ab diesem DLC immer, wenn eine neue Map kommt, eine extra Queue geben, damit du extra nur auf diese Map kommst. Du musst also nicht hoffen, sie zu kriegen. Du kannst extra nur für diese Map queuen.
For the killer, as Springtrap, get used to the arc of the projectile. As I said, it's super unique. Compared to other projectile killers, we've done something that really allows you to kind of pull off some pretty gnarly trick shots. We've seen some
haben sie jetzt ja halt eben auch nochmal erzählt.
Playtest. It's been super fun. So test that out, get used to it, and take advantage of the jump scares.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you're playing with your friends, hearing them shout in your ear is always a great time. Yes. But for survivors, take advantage of the cameras and the doors. It may seem a little unsafe because you can be interrupted or whatever, but they're really valuable tools if you get used to them and you use it to reveal the killer and kind of scoping out the area. You'll get more of an advantage out of them than I think you realize at first.
Heck yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Jay, thank you so much as always.
Mal gucken wir wieder über YouTube. Ist die Qualität besser und auch die Lautstärke.
Soon enough, people will get to play around with it. I know you're going to be glued to your Twitch screen so you can watch people play it, test it out. Thank you so much for joining us. The show must roll on. So next, we're going to bring out our friend Justin Banks to fill you in on DBD's anniversary event that's right around.
Jetzt bin ich gespannt. Jetzt kommt das Twisted Masquerade Event, Leute. Wenn ich nicht damit rechne, kommen die plötzlich damit doch noch um die Ecke. Was ist das, Chat? Was ist das? Ich dachte, die reden heute gar nicht drüber, weil sie es letztens nicht getan haben. Aber jetzt reden sie drüber. Aber hey, ich werde mich nicht beschweren. Ich freue mich drauf. So, Final Twisted Masquerade wird es dann ab nächsten Jahr was anderes geben. Nächstes Jahr wird DBD ja 10. Lieb's. Es ist halt schlecht abgemischt. Das hier ist zum Beispiel wieder deutlich lauter als eben das Gespräch. Es ist halt live, ne? Im Spiegel steht Later. Wer ist denn die Person, die da weggeht in dem Umhang? Mal ein bisschen leiser. Chat. Bekommen wir, Later Alligator, ja sozusagen, bekommen wir eine 109% Opfergabe, ich hoffe.
Okay, so one of, oh my God, my throat. I died. But one of the best things for Dead by Daylight that makes me really excited around this time of year is that there's always something to celebrate. And this year is no different. Because not only are we welcoming in Five Nights at Freddy's to the Fog, but also our anniversary event is right around the corner. So what better way to party and welcome back the anniversary event and get ourselves nice and warm by the fire than with Justin Banks?
Thank you, Dork. I'm really happy to be back with all you guys out there. It's another masquerade, another year where they dust me off, take me out of the locker, and get ready to talk to you guys about what is happening for this year's masquerade.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to hear how we're going to be partying it up in this year's anniversary event.
Yeah, so there's lots of stuff going on, and it's a special one because as I think you saw by the title just before, after 4 years, this is going to be our final masquerade. We have lots of laughs, lots of fun, and the response to all of the gameplay, the cosmetics, the aesthetics have all been incredible since we got this party started. So our final masquerade event is actually going to start in about a month and run from June 25th to July 16th.
Okay, so sie fangen diesmal nicht an einem Montag an, sondern an einem Mittwoch. Am 25. Juni geht's los.
We've had a gas working on it every single year. But we're going to close out with one last big hurrah before moving on to something completely brand new for our 10th anniversary next year.
Okay.
So I don't want to hype, I don't want to tease, but come back a year from now and we're going to have something really special for you.
Okay, also zum 10. Jubiläum wird es was richtig Krasses geben, deswegen wird es die letzte Twisted Masquerade sein jetzt. Oh, ich habe das Mikro geschlagen, I'm so sorry.
Is it true that the team decided to work on fine-tuning what we've currently got instead of adding new things to the whole shebang?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a few things that we're doing to really focus on the quality of life of the game overall. So you've seen, all of you guys out there, I don't even know which camera I'm looking at, that one. All of you guys out there, you've all seen how we're pushing for quality of life. We want to make sure that it's the game that, it's the game you guys deserve. You've stuck with us for such a long time. We're fixing long-standing bugs. We're adding features to just improve your overall experience. And we want that to translate to how we deal with events as well. So we made the decision to focus a lot of our resources on that quality of life and less so on adding to new gameplay features for this final Twisted Masquerade event.
Okay, so in terms of that then, what can players expect to see returning to the Fog with this Twisted Masquerade?
So returning, well, I can just summarize by saying all the really cool stuff that we've done before. Again, it's fun to work on this stuff year after year. So what we have coming back are the invitation powers that are super fun that you can collect as survivor or killer, and you'll have different powers to use their charges for as the match goes on. We are bringing back the bag of tricks that we introduced last year.
Okay, also wir können wieder Einladungen sammeln und die geben uns verschiedene Fähigkeiten.
That happens based on the progression of completing generators, accumulated with whatever hook stages are at, to really keep things dynamic, keep it moving. We're also bringing back Father Campbell's chapel, decorated, for the entire party.
Kapelle wird wieder dekoriert und noch irgendwas anderes, was ich jetzt leider nicht so gehört habe.
Still all the same decorations as last year, but we're signaling the party's coming to an end over there. Yeah. And
also alles, was irgendwie Spaß gemacht hat in den letzten Jahren, bringen es auf jeden Fall diesmal wieder mit rein.
Showing up in our anniversary lobby.
Okay, I love the fact that the lobby is going to be like a party in more ways than one. Yeah. Plus all the returning content. I mean, what's not to love there? I cannot wait to get my hands on my invitation just to cause ruckus. So when you're talking about the quality of life, though, are the players going to be able to experience that in the gameplay with Twisted Masquerade this year?
Absolutely. So when we were looking at how quality of life applies to, let's say, the game as a whole, we're saying, well, there are some elements of events that could work better for a better player experience. So while by and large everything from the event was really well received, we know people enjoy the invitation powers, the bag of tricks, etc., there was one big friction point from last year that we wanted to fix, which was the remote hook power for the invitations. So we've tweaked that a little bit just to apply some quality of life to this event itself, to make sure that as a killer is using it, it's no longer instant. You can't just look at a hook and bam, the survivor goes there.
Okay.
Now what will happen is the survivor has to look at a hook, they'll hold a button for a period of time, and then the survivor will be teleported. And it will also be obvious that the killer is doing this so the survivors have time for their counterplay to make them drop their partner.
Okay.
So we're really
Also
hoping that
die
creates
Killer
some
werden nicht automatisch
more
hooken können.
friendly gameplay, some less abusive elements.
Sie
and
müssen
just make
sich
it
erst
overall much
einen Hook
better
aussuchen,
party
in
for
eine
everyone
Taste
to play
drücken und
through.
dann wird es erst passieren, damit
gonna be
die
great.
Survivor eine
I'm really
Möglichkeit
excited
haben,
for that,
Counterplay
yeah.
zu nutzen.
So,
Wie
in
Flashlights,
addition to
wie
that,
Paletten und
last
so
year we
weiter.
pulled back the curtain on our host of the anniversary that we've shown around in quite a few assets. We showed off last year in a lot of ways. Our darling Trix. So since this is the last masquerade, her presence is going to be a little less felt, so you won't hear her or see her as often. And then she'll just be, with the masquerade, fading away into the fog, you could say.
Oh, that's really sad that we're going to see her fading away, but I understand. At least we get to enjoy her while we still have her.
Yep.
Ganz viele
So,
haben sich
with
gewünscht,
this
dass
being
die
the
als
last
Survivor
hurrah, what does
kommt, die
this mean for the
Designerin.
Twisted Masquerade
Wenn sie
rewards
faded
and
away into the fog
So this is
ist,
probably one of my
vielleicht
favorite
kriegen wir die als
parts to talk
Survivorin
about, because when
irgendwann.
we see these concepts every year, it's amazing. These are so creative and fun to work on. So we wanted to use our final Twisted Masquerade as a way to catch up on all original characters who did not previously have a mask or outfit.
Ooh.
So what you would see here is that we are adding masks for any survivors that are originals that did not previously have a mask. So we've got
Sehr
one
cool.
for Vittorio, Jake, Tori,
Oh, die von Sable.
Claudette, and Orella. And then on the killer side, we only had one that's missing a mask, so we have a mask for Houndmaster. And then what we have to supplement that to keep 6 collectible pieces per roll is 5 killer anniversary weapons that look amazing. So for
Oh,
that,
die für
we've
den
got one
Trapper
for
und für die
Trapper,
Huntress und für die
Nurse,
Spirit
Huntress,
und für den
Doctor,
Doktor. Das sind
and
alles Leute, die ich gerne
I
spiele.
cannot wait to get my
Spirit
hands on
kriegt
that
so
Spirit
geiles
one.
Messer.
Yeah, oh my
Cool.
god, they all look so
Freude.
damn good.
So good.
And we've
Ja,
not left
Mann,
out
ist so
2 other
schön.
characters because those are going to get the fully earnable outfits
Okay.
from the event. So we've got David King and the Wraith. So fully decked out, ready to celebrate the
Nice.
party.
Das bedeutet,
So
dass
with
es Leute
that,
geben
we're
wird, die halt
catching
nie einen
up on
Skin
all of our
haben, einen
original
kompletten.
characters, making sure that everyone is able to dress for the party for our final masquerade, which I think is really cool.
It's super cool.
And one thing that we've started to do over the past few years is introduce what I'm calling guests to the party.
Okay.
So some licensed characters who are getting outfits.
Oh,
Now, I don't want to spoil anything, so stay tuned for Hollis' section
Mann.
after, as he shows you who is guest starring at the party.
Okay.
lizenzierte Charaktere
Hopefully they
bekommen auch einen
roll in
Skin, aber
that
das spoilern
20th
sie jetzt
style.
noch nicht.
Oh, maybe a spoiler there.
Okay, so I know a lot of people are going to be thinking about this, myself included. I'm very curious. So when it comes to the time-limited Twisted Masquerade collection and the items, what happens?
So, as we've done for events and event collections in the past, like this one, we have it only available during the period of the event, and then when the event happens again next year, all of the previous iterations come back in the store. Since this is the last masquerade, what we're doing is going to be a little different. We have to adapt because we don't want these to fade away forever. So we are tentatively planning for these to come back in the store permanently at a certain point in the future, but I can't give specifics exactly when that is going to be.
Ach, das ist doch...
When this masquerade ends, everything will disappear.
Ich gatekeepe da ein bisschen.
And
Ich
when
finde das in
we know when they are
Ordnung, wenn
coming back, we are
Leute sich
certainly
das
gonna be
erspielt
communicating
haben,
on
wenn
it,
es dann
so
halt
players
einfach
can be
irgendwann weg
aware
ist.
and
I
they
don't
when they
know.
can come back and get any masks they missed, or if they joined us later, come in and pick them up then.
Ich meine, Legacy gab es nie für
Especially because, like,
PlayStation-SpielerInnen
this time
zum
of year,
Beispiel. Wir
anniversary
werden
is
nie
a
wieder
huge
Legacy
thing for our
haben.
community. So this is a huge win, I know. But also, aren't we doing something else to make this a little bit more special?
Absolutely. So I was talking about how we want to make sure all of our originals have masks or outfits to celebrate the party. But we want to make sure that all of our players have access to all of these originals too to celebrate with. So what we're doing is we're putting all of our original characters on free trial for the entire duration of the event. So if there's a survivor, a killer that you've not ever played before, you've been interested about, pick them up, play them in the normal queue, play them in the event
Okay.
queue. Really
Also,
go nuts.
Für das
And
Event
then,
werden
if you
alle
actually wanna
Killer und
keep them,
Survivor, die
we're
nicht
gonna
besitzt,
have some really
freigeschaltet.
sick
Die könnt ihr
sales going
trotzdem
on,
spielen.
So, get them at a really nice price and keep celebrating with them.
Well, that's awesome, Justin. Thank you so much for giving us the full rundown.
Also ihr könnt dann alle ausprobieren und euch dann hinterher überlegen, ob ihr die für einen speziellen Preis vielleicht permanent kaufen möchtet.
We're gonna keep it together.
It's gonna go out with a bang.
At least we have that, right? At least we have that. All right, so next up, joining me on the couch is going to be a new face to the stream. So please join me in the chat with a warm welcome for Hollis, who's going to be giving us a full rundown on the latest collections that'll be rolling into the fog.
Okay, eine Person, die wir noch nie gesehen haben im Stream, stellt jetzt die kommenden Kollektionen vor, Chat. Deswegen, wir sollen sie nett empfangen, aber wir sind ja nicht im Livestream-Chat, wir sind ja hier. Wir sagen trotzdem Hallo, ja? Ganz viel Liebe, Hallo, kommt dann und dann. Damit YouTube sieht, dass ich auch Süßlinge hier im Chat habe, ja, also...
Okay, it is upcoming collections time.
Wird auch immer
You know I
leiser,
love talking
oder?
about collections, and here with me to talk about them is a new face, our senior live specialist, operations specialist, Hollis, to give us the full rundown on everything that's going to be coming to the
Hollis ist ein
DBD-Livestream
cooler Name.
store in the next couple of months. So welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
So Hollis, how about you go ahead and give us a rundown about your role real quick?
Yeah, so my day-to-day consists mostly of scheduling and setting things up for the in-game store. So stuff you'd see like the collection banners, featured outfits, the bundles, weekly gifts, sales, stuff like that. I've also worked on a few of the collections you guys may have seen in the store. So Autumn Fashion, Chrysalis, Noir, Horrors from the Deep, and the Forgotten Myth collection. And on that note, speaking of content creation, I am sort of moving further in that direction as I'll be the person heading up charms and player cards going forward.
Okay. Speaking of player cards,
Kann mal jemand die Mikros von denen gerade machen, dass die da reinreden? Die reden irgendwo hin, aber nicht ins Mikro.
Where we're going to have badges and banners coming in as other things in the event. I'm super excited. But also, thank you for the Chrysalis collection. Oh my God, I'm a huge Chrysalis fan. But with all that said, like I said, I just sat down with Justin and they gave us a full rundown about the Twisted Masquerade when it comes to in-game earnables. But what can you tell us about what's going to happen store side?
Yeah, so just mentioned we have some really cool exclusive event
IT,
rewards.
Sandy,
We
ihr
also have some
Süßlinge.
exclusive store rewards for Twisted Masquerade.
Okay.
This time around, we have some outfits for the Lich Vecna, who's wearing his Masquerade Lich outfit, as well as Baemar, who is
Ich dachte, die
wearing
wollten
his
das nicht
Masquerade
spoilern.
Lich
Jetzt
outfit.
spoilern sie
Man,
es
I wish I could
doch.
grow a mustache like that.
Ich bin so beauty.
It's magnificent.
Oh, it's beautiful. Plus, as always, all the masks and outfits from previous years will also be returning to the store. You'll even be able to find a few select masks in bundles for Killer and Survivor. And for anyone who may have missed Twisted Masquerade last year, we'll also have a bundle with rewards from that. So the Unknown outfit, the player cards, and the charms.
Vecna sah sehr cool
All
aus,
be
ja.
available in the store on June 25th.
Aber ich fand auch
at the
das
start of the event.
Zweiber-Outfit sehr cool.
So is there going to be any like fantastic sales happening as well?
There might be. So we're going to be doing 30% off almost everything in the store for outfits released before the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter.
Okay.
On top of that, we'll be doing 25 to 50% off almost all the characters. And as Justin mentioned, if you find a character you like during the free trials, it's a great time to pick them up
25
and
bis
add them to your wall.
50% auf
Okay.
fast
Alright, so
alle
then,
DLCs, die vor dem
obviously,
Five Nights at Freddy's DLC
kinda touched
rausgekommen
on it.
sind. Auf die
Brace yourself.
Charakter.
This is a bit
Außerdem Free
emotional.
Trials. Das heißt, ihr könnt sie
But
ausprobieren
after this,
probieren
the
und wenn ihr sie
party will be
feiert,
over.
könnt ihr sie kaufen für
I
25
know,
bis 50% reduziert.
Let's keep it together.
Tricks don't leave me.
Das ist eine Menge, das stimmt.
But we're going to be okay because before we close the curtain, we've got other things happening right before, right?
That's correct. On June 17th, we have our highly anticipated Five Nights at Freddy's chapter releasing, and along with it, the Five Nights at Freddy's collection. Now, as you know, Dave and Matt already revealed one of the outfits at
Dankeschön.
PAX, but we got a few more to show off today that no one's seen
Am
quite yet.
17. Hat er
But in
17.
case you
gesagt?
did
Gibt es
miss
eine Five
PAX,
Nights
first
at
of all,
Freddy's
what are you doing?
Collection?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Second of all,
Ja, genau, da
we
haben
saw
wir
that
das
we
hier.
revealed our Yellow Rabbit legendary outfit for our new killer Springtrap. This is an incredible outfit from the Five Nights at Freddy's
Wie gesagt, der
movie
Typ
that features
hat
likeness
mal
of Matthew
einen
Lillard,
Ghostface
who played
gespielt
Wayne
und
Apted
es
on
ist der
screen
Typ aus...
before the Springlock accident that
Oh, der sieht ihm so
really turned him
ähnlich.
into Springtrap.
Aus 13
Now, this
Geister.
outfit has original
Das ist der
voiceover
Schauspieler aus
from
13
Matthew
Geister, der
Lillard,
im
was
Part.
recorded just for Dead by Daylight, as well as some special voiceover and animations in the lobby.
Okay,
Ist so cool.
I
Und er
cannot
macht
wait to
natürlich
get my
seine
hands
eigenen
on that.
Voice-Overs.
But
Das
are there
ist so
gonna be
cool.
other versions of Springtrap coming into the fog as well?
There is. We also have a Glitch Trap, a legendary outfit for Springtrap. Now, Glitch Trap first appeared in Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted and its sequel, Help Wanted 2, where he
Das ist
played
ja
a
süß.
very crucial role in the story. So it's amazing to have him as part of this collection. And as an added bonus, for both legendary outfits, when you unlock them, you'll receive a portrait badge of those characters as well. So a Glitch Trap portrait badge for Glitch Trap, and a yellow rabbit portrait with Matthew Lillard's likeness when you buy that as well. We also have two very rare outfits for Springtrap, which are both taken from Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery, the mobile AR game, which are Clown Springtrap and Toxic Springtrap. Now, Clown Springtrap is pulled pretty much straight from the game, looking just like
Einfach
Dance
nochmal
Moon
dein
Wonderland.
Behavior-Account
But
mit
we're
Twitch
focused on
verbinden.
Toxic
So
Springtrap,
würde ich
we're
einfach
making
nochmal
that
neu
known.
machen.
But that's not all. For the survivors out there who want to show their love for FNAF, there will be Freddy Fazbear's t-shirts available for all original survivors. You can buy them individually or bundled together at a discount.
That's gonna be great. I mean, I love like the shirts especially because it gives them this nice, cool, casual look. And I think because of that, it's why I love the next collection you're gonna be talking about.
Casual is a great way to describe it because this outfit, this collection is simply called the Casual Collection. And as the name implies, it focuses on streetwear and casual clothing, letting us add more variety to characters who've kind of been stuck with one look in the past. So, for example, a guy like Gabriel, who's often portrayed in space-themed outfits, we finally gave him something more casual to show a different side of his character.
Looks so good.
He's a handsome man.
Endlich
isn't he?
mal ein schöner
Handsome.
Skin für ihn.
On top of Gabriel, we also have outfits for Tori, who will be taking a break from
Oh
her
mein
cult robes.
Gott.
So good.
Snoodle, look
I
at
know
this.
you're very excited about, which is Talita, who is getting some pants, escaping
Oh,
her
wie süß.
shorts and skirt purgatory that she was in for a bit there.
Talita mentioned, yes, pants!
Thank you, Eric.
Pants.
We love pants.
Pants!
Chat, spam panty
Was ist mit dem,
notes.
was ist mit dem Sable-Skin? Was?
Yes.
Ich hab schon wieder das Mikro geschlagen. Was ist mit dem Sable-Skin?
And this collection will be hitting the store on July 2nd, right at the start of summer.
I cannot
Okay,
wait.
am 2.
Obviously, I'm very
Juli.
excited for
Am
pants.
2. Juli.
Pants. But with that, I mean, especially because like with the pants, I get to be nice and comfortable while I'm hanging on the hook. I mean, I'm gonna be there anyway, so I might as well be comfortable, right?
It'd also be awkward if you were on the hook with no pants.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad, Hollis. But we also want the killers to be nice and comfortable as well while they're slaying and putting people on hooks.
Ist so geil, wie sie
which
sagt, die
reminds
Killer
me
sollen
why
auch ein
we're
bisschen
bringing
slayen
up
und
the
sich wohlfühlen.
Boulay Brothers collection, which will be joining the fog on July 8th.
Am 8.
Coming in
Juli.
with a very rare for the Huntress and a legendary for the Artist.
That's right.
Ja, die kennen wir ja schon. For the Artist and für die Huntress.
Buying that one will get you an exclusive Boulay Brothers themed portrait badge.
Yes, can't. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited.
Das?
to get hands on that.
No, sneak preview.
Das war ein Spoiler.
Well, I mean, this is the best segue because we're going to be talking about a fan favorite returning.
Yes.
Das
That
war
is
nicht
right.
die
The
Huntress.
Waterfront
Die haben uns
Master
gerade was
Collection is
anderes
back.
gezeigt.
And for anyone out there who doesn't know what the Waterfront Master Collection is basically Day at the Beach gone terribly, horribly wrong.
Heute haben sie es mit den kleinen Patzern, ne?
This time around, we have outfits for Elodie, Aurella, Ace, and the Xenomorph.
Das ist hübsch.
So Elodie and
Ja,
Aurella are both
ja.
getting
Ace
sun
wieder
and
mit
nice
seinem
clothes off to
Leopardenschlipper.
And then there's
Aber
Ace,
Elodies ist
who's,
auch super schön.
doing the same, but in a more classic Ace fashion. And his outfit is something special.
It's very special.
He's rocking a leopard print speedo and
Will
what seems to
ich
be a
aber-
very short robe. And don't worry, to all the people out there, I can hear you typing in chat. I can confirm this outfit is mix and match. So you can go ahead and make those speedos a part of whatever outfit you like.
Das
If you
wird
wanna
Mix
put it
and
in the top
Match.
half of the Alice in Wonderland
Die
collection,
Aces
you
werden
can.
nur noch
We're
mit
not
diesem
gonna stop
Schlüpper
you. That's
rumrennen,
called
Leute.
fashion. Finally, we worked closely with 20th Century Games on our take of an aquatic xenomorph. It's inspired by kind of an anglerfish look, and we're really happy with how it turned out. It's very creepy, very cool, and honestly, would not want to run into that while swimming.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And you can expect the Waterfront Master Collection, as well as Ace's Speedo, to be available in the
Mit
store on July
Marilyn
16th.
Monroe hatte das gar nichts zu
I
tun.
already
Das
know
sind
a
zwei,
very distinct group of people
ich
that
weiß
were
es gar nicht,
playing
sind das
nothing
Streamer?
but
Das sind irgendwelche
Ace,
Brüder.
Visconti
Zwei
during
Drag Queen Brüder.
TBA,
Nach dem ist
and
das
they're gonna be
Outfit.
wearing the
Die
hell out of
Artist.
that
Yeah,
speedo.
Inspiriert.
These collections, we have
Irgendwas mit
Pants Gang
Brothers,
and
frag
no
mich
Pants
nicht.
Gang now.
Oh my gosh, choose your size. But thank you so much for joining me on the couch to talk about all the latest collections that'll be coming into the fog. I'm super excited and it was
Jetzt haben wir den
great to have
Huntress-Skin
you.
halt
thanks
einfach
for
gar
having
nicht
us. It's so
gesehen.
much
Ne? Den
fun.
haben sie uns jetzt
It's
einfach
so
gar nicht
fun.
gezeigt.
So next, I'm going to be on the couch here with Eric for all of our Dead by Daylight creators out there to talk about the Creator Program. So stay tuned.
Das interessiert mich tatsächlich auch. Das Creator-Programm. Ich dachte, ich krieg so ein bisschen Gameplay gezeigt hier. Wahrscheinlich sollen wir uns dann die PTBs angucken. Ich kann ja kein PTB anbieten, deswegen... Hui, wupp. Ich wünsche mir, habe ich schon mal gesagt, ich wünsche mir ein Twitch-T-Shirt für meine SurvivorInnen. Das würde ich sehr, sehr fühlen.
We're back. How about them pants?
If there was no sound effect, that would be so funny.
Yeah. New stream capabilities, the technology is amazing. Just a quick note, I did see people, they thirsting for whatever the Hattie cosmetic is. We just didn't have an image for it, I'm sorry. So please just stay tuned a little longer.
Okay.
All right, now we're gonna talk about the Creator Program. So, at PAX a few weeks ago, as we've said a couple times, we did a big stream there. We did mention there's a new Creator Program on the horizon.
Ja, das haben sie erzählt.
With more details on the next stream, which is this stream.
Ja.
So let's do that. It's today, so we've got more details to share. So,
Brauche ich einen Stift?
the current Creator Program, as you probably know, is called the Fog Whisperers. They're an amazing group of people that I've gotten to meet a bunch of now. Very thankful for that. They're awesome. They're content creators on all things Dead by Daylight, and it's
Ein bisschen,
while many of
aber
those
nicht
relationships
jetzt
are
während
going
der
to continue
Werbung.
for sure.
War
it's
eigentlich
also
nur die
time that
ganze
we're
Zeit
gonna
so ein
open the door
Blackscreen.
to new folks. This is something we've heard a lot of. How can I get into the program? So that's what we're going to start doing. So for
Jetzt reden wir über das
starters, we're
Creator-Programm.
actually going to retire the name Fog Whisperers. So that crew remains in the stratosphere as the Fog
Okay, also
Whisperer
sie lösen die
Pantheon.
Fog Whisperer auf, zumindest
And
den
we're
Namen.
rebranding it as the Dead by Daylight Creator Program. Yes.
Yes, but don't
Okay.
worry, for anyone wondering, most Fog Whispers are still staying on with us as pillars of our new creator group. So do not worry about that. And on top of the new name, actually, the goal of our creator program is to make partnering with Dead by Daylight even easier and better for the creators involved. We're expanding the benefits attached to working with us, and we'll be welcoming an even wider range of personalities and content focused on the game. So if you're a creator and you've always wanted to work with Dead by Daylight, now is the time to make that happen.
Yes, so some benefits that we're being explicit about that Dork mentioned include opportunities like access to live events, like PAX we were just at, giveaways for your communities, and new ways to engage with the game, like getting regular updates on major releases before anyone else gets those updates, early access
DBD
opportunities to stream and capture content, and even be featured in our content, like on streams like today. So we're going to be testing out something other than that, which is really cool because I get to work directly on it, called the Support a Creator program. It's a program within a program, I suppose. But your Support a Creator has become kind of a industry standard thing you might be familiar with. It's a chance for you as the community of a streamer or YouTuber or whatever, to support your favorite creator with your purchases in the game. You don't need to pay any extra, but you put in their creator code, and they get a cut of the Oryx cells that you're buying in Dead by Daylight. So we're going to do a little pilot of that, see how it
Es
goes.
wird zum Beispiel so einen
If it goes
Creator-Code
well,
geben
we
wie bei
hope to roll it
Fortnite so
out
ähnlich. Ihr könnt dann
wider
eure
in
Lieblingscreator
large.
unterstützen, indem ihr beim Kauf von Items oder so in-game halt einen Creator-Code
It wouldn't be
eingebt.
a creator subject without Twitch shirts.
We gotta talk about Twitch shirts.
Twitch-Shirts, bitte!
Twitch shirts. I wake up in the middle of the night thinking of Twitch shirts.
Hot sweats.
Hot sweats. Well, that's just me anyway. Okay, so Twitch shirts. Twitch shirts has become a big thing, as you know.
Yeah.
It was never meant to become a big thing, but also wasn't well defined. How do I get them? Why does that person get them? I don't get them.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
those are totally fair questions. And actually, we wanted to tie it to the launch of this new creator program, so it was very clear. Here's the guidelines to get into the creator program. You get into the creator program, you get a Twitch shirt. So that's the new way of getting the Twitch shirts. The old
Okay.
throwing them out randomly method has been retired for now, at least. So if you get into the new creator program, you will be rewarded with a lot of things, but also a Twitch shirt. So I think there's a note on that. So we're going to be granting the upcoming Twitch shirts for our next original Survivor to the creator program folks, and anyone who already has Twitch shirts, you get to hold on to the ones you have, but we won't continue to build your Twitch shirt collection. You got to get into the creator program.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're interested in adding your voice to our community of creators, our new Dead by Daylight creator program website is now live, where you can go ahead and read the code of conduct and find out how you can go ahead and fill the form to apply to get yourself submitted into the program. So the link should already be pinned in chat.
Yep, and our creator team, which is kind of a sister
Pinned
team
in
to our
chat.
team, it's not us. They're going to be at TwitchCon EU, that's short for Europe, and just from May 31st to June
geklappt.
1st
Ja.
in Rotterdam. So you can go chat with them in person and get more details. Make sure that they become aware of you. What does that
Introduce
mean? What a
yourself.
weird. Thank you, English. I've just learned English. But also a really cool thing we're doing at that TwitchCon is sponsoring
Aber jetzt kriegt man die Shirts halt
Horror
noch
Games
weniger,
Community
ne?
Meetup. We attended it last year at TwitchCon North America. It was super dope. I got to go.
Und ganz
and meet a bunch
ehrlich,
of
ich hätte mir gewünscht, dass sie
cool
irgendwie
creators.
sagen, ey, wenn du so und so viel 1000
But
Stunden in
now
DBD
it's
hast
sponsored by Dead by Daylight,
und du
which is
bist
kind
halt
of fitting, so you
Twitch-Streamer
can go
seit,
and
weiß nicht, so und so
enjoy
vielen
that and meet
Jahren,
some of the team there.
dann let's
Okay,
go, hier hast
enough
du.
about creators.
Dieses
Let's answer some
Limitieren des
questions from the
Twitch-Shirts
community.
geht mir ein bisschen auf den Sack, ich bin
Let's
ganz
do
ehrlich.
Q&A. Nope, sorry. One more thing we're going to do. We're going to talk about the stats tracker I mentioned at the top of the show.
Yes, the stats.
Right? Right?
It's a live stream, folks. It's a live
I'm
stream.
going insane.
In a couple of weeks, we're going to be debuting a new feature that you guys have been asking for a long time, which is the official Dead by Daylight stats tracker.
Ja,
So,
ist der
for anyone
Stats
who
Tracker,
knows the game,
Leute.
a lot can happen over the course of a trial. You can boon a totem, get hooked. You could get a pallet stun, get hooked. You know, there plenty of things happen.
Including getting hooked?
And so, yeah,
Okay.
especially. So players have always wanted to know more information about their matches, and this website is going to be the key to getting you that information.
And what I should have done at the start of this, Emil, get ready. I should have said stats tracker and then air horn. So I'm going to try it. Stats tracker! Yep. Yes. We're in the 21st century. Stats are being tracked as far back as September 1st, 2020. That's just a limitation on
Ich
the
würde
data
schon
that we
manchmal
have.
tragen, Nana,
we're
ganz
going back
ehrlich,
to
so aus
September 1st,
Stolz. Ich würde
2020.
schon hin und wieder
So you'll
tragen.
be able to see your own personal journey in Dead by Daylight. A random person just walked in the room, and all your milestones over that time. The team has been looking at it, actually approaching it like a fitness app, which I think is a cool approach
Ich weiß,
for
was du
killers
meinst, ja.
and survivors, which I think would keep you fit, actually, if you're one of those things.
Well, I mean, survivors run all the time.
Yes, yes. So it should be a fun way to track your personal progress.
Yeah. The Stats Tracker website is going to launch on June 17th, and you'll be able to access it either on desktop or mobile. So it's super simple to use, and all you'll need is a behavior account with at least one platform you play Dead by Daylight linked with it. You can also link multiple platforms with
Dankeschön,
cross progression
Snule.
and combine all your stats from wherever you play the game. There's the general statistics page at the start where you can see your global stats like hours played, specific play time and matches, total matches, and more. You can also switch between the main stats for killer and
Auch die ich am meisten gespielt
Yes,
habe.
so like
Oha,
one,
wie
you'll be able to see
cool.
things like who your most played characters are, who your top characters are for each role. You can dive in each character and dig into details like emblems, average blood points earned, and even more than that.
Vielleicht kriegst du die
Yeah,
als
so we'll also be showing you
Ingame-Benachrichtigung
super
Soul Beauty. Hast du mal
useful
geguckt?
details, like what your top perks were, both in
kann dir
terms
da
of
erst
your
nach dem
pick
Stream
rate, your
weiterhelfen.
kill
I'm
or
so
escape
sorry.
rate. You can also see which perks really drive the most success for you and the way
Das ist
you
ja
play the
geil.
game.
Oh, das ist richtig cool.
Yep. And a few more things you might be wondering about. The site will be super current. So meaning your match history will update almost immediately after a match is finished in the game.
Ist so, Nana.
So stats also refresh every 24 hours, meaning where to go. Yeah. If you link a new platform, which some people may be doing, it could take up to 24 hours before you start seeing those platform stats in the tool. And finally, it could change in the future too. This is a first iteration, as with most of the things we put out. First iteration, then we build on it. It's going to focus on 1v4 matches and major seasonal events like Blood Moon, Anniversary, Halloween, and the
Dann
winter
können wir so einen
events.
richtigen Schwanzvergleich machen, Leute.
As of
Wuhu.
now, custom matches won't be counted in your stats, but we're going to be looking at adding limited time events like Lights Out, Chaos Shuffle, and even 2v8 in the future down
Vielleicht
the
sind die
road.
Server
I can't
überlastet
wait
zur
for
Beauty.
with Chaos Shuffle for it to tell me how many times I got no mither. I would love that. And like with everything we do here at Dead by Daylight, the stats tracker is something where, as Eric said, we're going to be building on. So there's already a ton in there that we wanted to make sure that is available for players. But if there's anything you want to see added, feel free to let us know on socials so that we can let the team know and see about updating it for the future.
So keep an eye out for more info. We're very close to that release. It's actually going to release alongside this chapter, which is scheduled for June 17th of this year, by the way. So couple weeks. So only a couple
Also am
weeks away.
17. erscheint das DLC
and
und ab
as
da
I
gibt's auch
tried
die
to
Stats.
transition to before,
Wenn ihr
why
auf
don't we
euren
do a Q&A?
Behavior-Account geht.
Yeah, let's jump to it. I don't know if we have. Do we have a card thing? We got 2 minutes. Oh, okay. We're close to PTB time, so we're going to zoom. Okay.
Zoom, zoom.
We have 2 live streams in 1 month. 5 Nights at Freddy's anniversary. We know you've got. Oh Jesus, sorry. I'm reading what was written for me. Okay, here's the actual question. There have been complaints about cheats and hackers in the game at the moment. Is there something you can say about how you're addressing this?
The war against cheaters and hackers is a long-standing one, and that's for sure. And while it will always be there, there are definitely steps that we are taking to resolve this as much as possible. So during the upcoming months, you can expect to receive clearer game rules, a code of conduct, and regular
Das kommt aber noch nicht in diesem
War
PTB.
against
Die haben
cheaters,
schon
as well as
ein Beispiel gezeigt, finde es aber scheiße, muss ich sagen. Die Witcher-Kooperation 3. Juni.
Also
Also in ein paar Tagen.
As we get more and closer to that, we'll be giving you more information on. And we don't want to be giving cheaters and hackers, roundabouts for our protocols.
Yeah, we can't give them that peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Cheaters are losers. Yesterday, the developer update went live explaining the Go Next prevention. How does this affect survivor perks that allow you to get off the hook? And how will the feature prevent survivors leaving the game early, abandoning their teammates?
So Go Next, otherwise known as giving up on the hook early in the match. Firstly, it ruins the match for
ich mir schon gedacht,
everyone
Lusty.
involved on the survivor team and the killers, because sometimes they have things that they've got to do too. So frustration around this has been very high as of late, and with the test happening in the PTB, the chance to get off the hook early in the match will be removed unless you have perks or offerings that affect this. Deliverance and Wicked will
PTB ist
stay
jetzt
the
da.
same, and
Genau.
their activation conditions have not changed. For example, playing for the hatch. So when 2 survivors are left, and the survivor that is hooked will try to allow themselves to die faster, so that the other person can get the hatch.
Das mit dem Blutnetz kommt dann dem nächsten PTB. Dafür haben sie noch kein Datum genannt.
Right. With the bulk spending option, so another awesome quality of life feature coming with this
Es kommt auf jeden Fall noch nicht in diesem, erst in dem danach. Aber sie haben schon Beispiele auf X und so gezeigt.
So in this iteration, you can actually choose how many levels
Da-
you can, you'll want to spend your blood
Da
points
reden sie
on.
gerade
So
drüber.
You can't currently choose that very specifically. And it's going to be done automatically, and you will receive a pop-up that shows what was purchased after it's completed, and it's going to be very quick. So we will monitor the feedback on this and see how it performs, and then we'll make some changes moving forward.
Oh, this one's for me. What is Eric's favorite animatronic?
Also ihr könnt auswählen, wie viele Blutpunkte auf einmal ihr ausgeben möchtet. Und dann wird euch angezeigt, bis wohin euch das bringt. Euch wird dann ganz kurz wohl doch ein Pop-up angezeigt, was ihr bekommen habt, und das war's. Ihr könnt nicht spezifizieren, was ihr haben möchtet aus dem Blutnetz. Also ihr könnt keinen Filter einstellen. Das macht dieses Level für mich halt tatsächlich obsolet. Weil ich möchte mir aussuchen können, was ich levele.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I think for me, it would have to be Freddy Fazbear.
Oh yeah, the classic.
Gotta go with the classic.
Okay, are you going to continue with the quality of life, in particular the anti-slugging fix?
Ja.
We're definitely continuing with the quality of life features that we advertised earlier this year. So don't worry about that. With this PTB, we'll be focusing on the Go Next feature, bulk blood point spending, and extreme hiding. Then in the upcoming releases, we'll be focusing on phase 2 of the plan. So more information will be
mit den Map
available as we
Offerings?
head closer to that phase. But rest assured, this is still a very large focus for us. This is very important.
Das Anti-Slugging würden sie halt am besten damit unterbrechen, dass du einfach automatisch aufstehen kannst, wenn
Final
gesluggt wird.
question, where is
Warum sie das
Maurice?
nicht möglich
If you're
machen
new to
für
the game,
Survivor,
Maurice
check
is
ich
our
halt nicht.
beloved horse who happens to have 3 eyes and drips blood.
Ja, was ist mit Maurice
He's
passiert?
been missing from the game for a few weeks.
Ja, warum?
And I think now is the time to let people know.
Yeah, let me know.
He took a vacation to Japan. I'm serious.
Without me?
Without you, without me.
Nach
Pretty
Assassin's Creed,
selfish.
ne?
Yeah.
If you want a glimpse into his adventure in Japan, you got to play that new Assassin's Creed game.
Oh.
Yeah, Shadows.
Ooh, collab.
That's all I'm gonna say. Go find out for yourself.
Ja, also ein Map-Offering würde ich nicht mehr hundertprozentig dorthin schicken.
Please.
Und du kannst auch nicht mehrere werfen,
So,
um die
that's
Chance
it.
zu
You
erhöhen. Wann
listened
das
to
kommt,
us
weiß ich aber
yammer
gerade
long
nicht. Ich
enough.
meine, es war aber schon in den PTB-Changes mit drin. Also müsste das jetzt mit erscheinen dann.
Thank you for joining us for our 5 Nights at Freddy's official stream. And we hope you're as excited about
Ich hab
the
wieder
chapters.
Waschbären in der Küche, ja, nicht
And
wundern.
from all of the requests, we know you probably are.
Ich meine, das habe ich in den Patch Notes nämlich schon gelesen,
so
Soul
much
Beauty mit den
for,
Maps.
sitting here with us.
Bin ein bisschen traurig, dass wir
And
die
now it's
4%
time for you to go and
Anhook-Chance
play the
verlieren.
live PTB and test
Aber
drive
irgendwie muss man das ja
Screen Cap.
verhindern können, dass
We've
die
got
Leute
tons more
sich
amazing
First Hook umbringen
content
können.
coming your way this year, and the anniversary is also just around the corner. So stay tuned for good stuff to come. And creators, we hope to hear from you soon.
Yes, so thank you everyone for the welcome back to stream messages on Twitter. This is a live stream,
Yes.
dang it. But we will be rolling out into the fog now. So you stay safe out there. Good luck and hiding and hunting.
And let's get one more air horn right now. Thank you, everybody. Have fun.
Bye.
War das jetzt schon das Q&A? Die sind so süß. Na, noch haben sie ja kein Anti-Slugging reingebracht. So richtig doll. Aber ja, ich glaube, wir sind durch mit dem Stream, ne? Das war schon das Q&A. Ach, da sind die ganzen Namen. Kommt jetzt noch irgendwas? Ich weiß es gerade nicht. Ich warte das mal kurz ab. Ich kann PTB nicht spielen, weil ich auf Konsole spiele. Also, falls ihr PTB gucken wollt, müsst ihr leider bei anderen reinschauen. Ich empfehle da wunderbare Persönchen. Ich weiß nicht, ob die live sind, aber wenn wir schon mal dabei sind. Ich empfehle da sehr zum Beispiel. Ist gerade nicht live, das ist ja frech. Ich hätte euch jetzt Schwabbeltown ans Herz gelegt. Ich weiß nicht, ob die anderen PTB spielen. Ich weiß nicht, ob... Doch, da ist doch Schwabbeltown. Guckt bei Schwabbeltown rein, Leute. Das ist ein Süßling und der erklärt doch immer ganz toll. Also ich werde jetzt nicht restreamen oder so. Ich werde ihn euch nur mal kurz zeigen. Geht bei ihm rein, der macht das für euch. Ist echt super Knorke, falls ihr Schwabbeltown noch nicht kennt. Geht rein zu Schwabbeltown. Der macht das mit euch, der patcht das für euch um. Der ist süß, der ist lustig, der ist großartig. Und er mag Hunde.
Alien ist Pflicht.
Also,
Verstehe. Ja, dann darf der nicht
ja,
fehlen.
mach
Der
gerne einen
sieht ja wirklich-
Shoutout für Schwabbel.
Der sieht ja auch richtig gut aus.
Er sieht
Kein
richtig
Skin, den
gut
man
aus.
halt
Hä, was ist
nur
mit ihm?
holt, damit man die ganze Sache
Okay, ihr
komplett hat,
Süßen.
sondern das ist ein Skin, den man auch rausholt und gerne.
Und dann pausieren wir das mal ganz kurz. Ich an der Stelle sage Danke an YouTube und bis zum nächsten Mal. Wir gucken jetzt selber ein bisschen in DBD rein, nur leider nicht in den PTB, aber das macht nichts. Das könnt ihr gerne woanders gucken. Wie gesagt, guckt bei Schwabbel. Ja, und bis zum nächsten Mal.